Hey, Homeworthy, I'm Hailey. And I'm Kailey. Welcome to my home in Dallas, Texas. I'd love to show you around. Come on in.
This summer, spend the hottest months of the year in style with Homeworthy as we visit the most extraordinary homes around the world. From the sun-soaked shores of the Hamptons to the classic beachfronts of Nantucket to the vibrant courtyards of Morocco, be sure to subscribe to Homeworthy's summer series to make every day feel like a vacation. You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
I'm Hailey Daniels. I am a professional hair and makeup artist, and I am a content creator. We focus on bridal, lifestyle, anything pretty. And I'm Kailey Fletcher. This is my home in Dallas, Texas. I am a content creator, a professional hair and makeup artist, a bridal stylist, and a serial entrepreneur. And we're both professional dresser-uppers. Yes. So my husband bought this house right out of college in 2013. He went to A&M and, go Ags if you're an Aggie. But he bought this house in 2013. This home was built in 1954, and it has seen many lives, many styles. We did a full gut reno in 2023, and it was from down to the pier and beams, they were down to the studs, and it was a labor of love. It definitely needed a facelift by the time that I had a plain facelift. Yeah, a deep plain facelift when I moved in.
Hailey is going to join me in this room. This room used to be our covered patio, but when we did the renovation, we closed it in and we kind of opened it up to the kitchen. This actually used to be the back door to the patio, but we opened it up, closed it in, made it a dining room.
These are the original ceilings.
This is the original ceilings, and we painted them, and I really like how they turned out in here. But this room is really a reflection, I think, of my personality, of my soul. I love whimsy. I love things a little off in some way.
Not quite on point.
Not quite
but
perfect. But
yeah.
This room I love so much. I spent a lot of time thinking about this room. But I'll start over here. My husband's grandfather was a professional skier. These are his skis. Recently, they moved into an apartment, so they've had to downsize their lake house, and they have a lot of cousins, a lot of family members, and everyone just started kind of picking the things that they wanted and wanted to take home, and I let everyone go first. And these were just on kind of propped up against the wall, and I'm like, if anyone doesn't want these, can I please take them? And everyone was like, for what? What do you need them for? And I'm like, you'll see. And no one got it. And then when I put them up on the wall, they understood.
Has his name on it too.
Has his name
Fletcher.
on it. It has his little ski logo right here that I love so much. These skis are the skis that my husband learned how to ski on, and they're just precious to me. They may not be precious to others, but they are to me. This artwork right here is by William Snyder. He is my husband's best friend's dad, and he's a Pulitzer Prize photographer. And this piece is of the Dallas skyline with a cattle run going across, and he shot this in May of '84, and it's just a beautiful piece, and it really shows off Dallas. We have this Western flair to our city, but there's so much liveliness and really modern pieces to our city, and I feel like this reflected that so well. This piece right here is my bar cart from Serena and Lily. This was gifted to me by the hostesses from my wedding shower, and it will follow me to any home I ever live in, but it's very precious to me. I love flowers, but I tend to kill things that are plants and living and whatnot. So these are some faux flowers from Williams-Sonoma. Everyone thinks that they are real. They're absolutely not, but they add a really nice texture to this little corner, and I always call this my Cowboy Corner, and it's precious. I love it so much. This table was actually one of the first pieces I bought when we did the renovation. It's a stone concrete table, and it weighs a bajillion pounds. You should have seen them moving this in here. But it seats 8, and I love to see every chair filled with people I love. It's so fun to see in this space that it used to be our outdoor patio, but now I get to host really lovely dinners in here. These chairs are Serena and Lily, and so is the table. I knew that I really wanted this rattan texture in here mixed in with all the things that I already owned, and I really love how it turned out. My rug is by Ruggable because, like I said, my child likes to make spaghetti and also put spaghetti on the floor, and a washable rug was of necessity. One day I'll have a beautiful Turkish rug in here, but for now, practicality is taking place. And then over here, we have a credenza that was custom made for me by Oyster Creek Studios. The paint color is actually the same paint that I have throughout the whole house. I have Sherwin-Williams Snowbound, and they did a really beautiful laggard snowbound on this credenza. I love it. It stores all sorts of things. My Christmas collection, all my Christmas decor that the Texas heat would absolutely destroy, so I store that in here. And then the girls' games and little things that I don't really have space for, but this is awesome storage. This wall is really it shows the legacy of our family. My husband's side of the family and the Weston side, our grandparents. This photo right here is of Paul's grandfather, who was a professional skier, and they are actually doing a skiing competition in a pool in Houston. I believe this was a Marriott right outside of Houston, and they have a boat with skiers in a pool. I can't handle it. I love it so much. He was also...
Isn't that where Bobby and Nancy met?
That is where Bobby and Nancy met. This is the same competition that Paul's grandparents met at. He saw her across the pool and went up to her and had to have her number, I guess. That's how our family was come to be. He was also a graduate of Texas A&M. My husband's a 3rd generation Aggie. Again, one of those pieces that when his grandparents downsized, they had this in a different frame, different matting, and it was just propped up like no one really wanted it. And my husband's the last Fletcher, the last of his lineage, and that has the Fletcher last name, so I felt it appropriate to be in our dining room. Another one of his great-grandfather, his grandfather, and his great-uncle skiing. I believe this was in Houston. I just love it. I love the athleticism and just a really awesome picture of our family. And then for our family, this is my grandfather, James Weston. He is a adrenaline junkie. He loves to race boats. He still rides motorcycles to this day. He's 88 years old.
87.
Old. He's old. And
he won't be upset for us saying that.
He won't be upset by us saying that. But I love that picture of him. I think he looks so handsome, and he had just won a boat race, and I love him pointing down to the sticker of the sponsor of it. I love it. And this is our Nana. Her name is Nancy. She's beautiful. She's just fabulous. And she was a dancer her whole life, and I love that picture of her.
And that's her doing point with taps on the bottom of the
Yes, I hate that the picture's cut off, but she's doing tap point. It's toe crazy. Tap. Toe tap. It's crazy. And this is another picture of Bobby skiing at that same competition. I love it. This is a round top find. I'm a round top girly. This is just a humongous copper pitcher that I found at last fall season, and I love that it still has, I don't know if you can see that, but it still has its tax stamp still on it. And you can see a little crown that shows, I'm not exactly sure the origin of where it came from, but definitely the UK, and I love the tax stamp. I think it's so fun. Anything that was of value, you would get a stamp put on it, like any metal, you would put a stamp on it, and I love that it's still on there. And then this piece right here is an absolute compromise to my husband. He is a definite outdoorsman, and this is from one of his last elk hunts. And, you know, I would say forever that I would not have horns in my house. And
I
compromised, and it is in my favorite room of the house, and that just shows how much I love my husband, because one day it will be in a man cave, if that were ever to come to be, but
no, you're not moving.
I can't even look at it, but it's okay. And then this piece is so special to me.
And to me, even though it's not in my home.
Yeah, and this beautiful art piece is by Kelly O'Connor. She is from San Antonio, Texas. She is a amazing artist, and she commissioned this for me. And the first meeting I had with her, I knew that we were vibing. I knew that she was getting what I wanted in this piece. I love the fact that she uses different textures of the tiles, does a bunch of different cutouts, and I love the zip line that's right here. I love it so much. But the whole reason of this photo is our mom is so beautiful, but she is a redhead version of Hailey Mills. Hailey Mills was the actress in the original Parent Trap, and when she was pregnant, she knew that she was going to have a little girl named Hailey. And because of Hailey Mills,
She was, told her whole life
that she looked like
her.
That she looked like Hailey Mills, and it was just funny that it ended up being about Hailey Mills in a twin movie, and here we are. And so this is Hailey Mills in the Parent Trap. I have 2 little Audrey Hepburns that I love, and then a Grace Kelly, and she really brought my vision to life, and it's special, and it ended up being a art piece that it really was. She ended up making this into a print and has sold many. So if you do love, she does have prints available. But the fact that I have the original, I mean, if my house were on fire, I'd be grabbing this and running out.
Then the girls would have to run behind her.
The girls would have to run. Just kidding. I love this piece so much. I love it. And then right here is my collection of milk glass from Paul's grandmother. They are just special pieces that I've collected from her, some pieces that I have found on my own. And this little spot actually just works great with the milk glass behind it. But this shelf actually was a mistake. I didn't mean to buy this shelf. It was not what I originally wanted, but it got delivered, barely fit through the front door, and it ended up here. And I'm glad that it did. And then on the very top shelf, I have some trophies from our grandparents. There's a motorcycle trophy, a boat racing trophy, a ski trophy, and a swing dancing competition trophy from our Nana and Papa. They are beautiful dancers together, and I like to have them up there. And I have a few little photos sprinkled throughout our room. This room, here's a little photo from Paul and I's little wedding get-together, I guess you would say. We came in on our ski boat. And it's the only time I ever got to wear my dress, and it's on the back of a boat. Like I said, I like the perfect unperfectness. So I really like to mix high and low. I mean, when you're furnishing a space, I really try to prioritize the things that are of necessity. And I wanted a chair here that I could curl up in and needlepoint, or watch the rain or read or whatever. And I also knew that my girls' little dirty bodies would be getting on this chair, and this is a West Elm find. Mostly everything in here is antique or Serena and Lily, and this piece from West Elm worked out so well for this little tiny corner, and I love her so much. And so when I was designing this room, I really wanted a ethereal kind of feel to it. And this wallpaper from Schumacher is their Cloud Toile print. It comes in an array of colors, but when I got the swatch in here, this is when I still had, no paint, no nothing was done in here when I was figuring out what I wanted, and I held it up, and this light from the backyard came in, and I was like, this is it. And at the time, I didn't know that I was gonna have my art piece by Kelly O'Connor, and it truly is such a good backdrop to that art piece. It just kind of floats, and I love it. At nighttime, this room glows. It's like my little jewelry box inside my home. And it really is my most favorite room in this house. It is. All the lights in my home are from Visual Comfort, and this Julie Neal chandelier was one of my first purchases as well for this house. I believe it was the table and the chandelier. I have the matching sconce in the mudroom, but I love the quirk of this. I love the flowers. I love the white plaster. It's one of those pieces that, again, I asked for forgiveness rather than for permission from my husband when I got a floral chandelier, but I think he loves it. I really do.
My go-to design tip is really, for so long, I was fighting what my true style is, which is eclectic, eccentric. I'm a treasure hunter, and I was always leaning towards doing something that was a little bit more polished and a little bit more showroomy. And my biggest tip is to follow what your heart loves, and that's what I've done in this home. We used to jokingly say when we would be looking for things for your house and just how we were going to source it, we had this like funny little saying that if I wouldn't wear it, I wouldn't put it in my house. And if it was in my house and I wouldn't wear it, then I don't want it. So basically, we like for our homes to feel like us and look like us and kind of be like a little love note to our family and friends who come into this space. And Kailey did such a good job at putting that together here. I know. Yeah, it's been really fun to see this space come to life and it be our true style. Yeah. I would say that this house, it does not lend itself to space, but it lends itself to entertain quite a few people. We have a really large family on my husband's side, and we can host people pretty comfortably because of the way that the house moves. I always want this to feel like that people can move in and out of the living room, the kitchen, the dining room. And though my house is 2,500 square feet, maybe less, I'm not really sure after all the renovations we've done, but it can host so many people, and I love the walls to kind of rattle a little bit. I want to feel the energy, and I think when you have a smaller home, you can get to that point pretty quickly. Well, and what's interesting about the way that you've kind of found your style while also being functional, like everything in here is so pretty, but everything in here, it's not too precious. Oh no, someone can sit on this couch and drink red wine and I'm not going to lose. Yeah, we love to play mahjong and have friends over. And I make a monthly Houston to Dallas trek for Maj. And, it is such a space that feels warm and inviting, but also it feels like each room has its own vibe and its own informality or formality, and I think people really enjoy it when they come over. I certainly do when I come to visit.
All right, well, this is my living room. It has seen quite a transformation. I'll start with the renovation process. So again, this house was built in 1954, so it's just a very cozy cottage, quaint home. And what used to be in this living room, the ceilings were lowered, so they were just standard height ceilings. And then this wall right here that has the entry into the kitchen, that was not there. It was just a blank wall with a little teeny tiny doorway into the kitchen. When we started the renovation process in 2023, it was very much a desire to make this room feel bigger. And the previous owner, when my husband bought this home, it was really her dining room, and she had a dining room table right where the mahjong table was and more of a formal sitting area, and that just did not speak to me nor my husband. And when we designed this space, I wanted to feel open. I wanted to feel as big as I could possibly get it, and the only way that we could do that was to go up, so we raised the ceilings. And it was the best decision. It wasn't great for our pocketbooks because it was so expensive, added quite a few dollars to that, but it was worth it, and I'm so glad that we did it. We had our wedding in 2020. We had just a very intimate wedding during COVID, and then we had another wedding in August. Well, since it was so really unplanned and everyone was just going out of town, my husband went to Alaska to go hunt, and while he was gone, I gave away all of our furniture in our house, like all of it, except for our mattress. It's one of those things where you ask for forgiveness rather than for permission, and that's what I did. So one of the first pieces that I bought when I donated all of our furniture was I bought this console table from Restoration Hardware. I saw it at a hotel here in Dallas at the Adolphus, and they had it in more of their loungy living room-esque place in the hotel. And I loved it so much. I loved an iron piece in here, so this was one of the first pieces that I bought. And of course, I have photos of my family, my girls. I have a 4-year-old named Elle and an almost 2-year-old named Grace. And you'll see through our whole house is that they're my art. I have pictures of them throughout the entire house. And this is an art piece that was given to me by a friend. And I kill everything in this house, and I had to put a plant next to it just to kind of give it some life, but I hope I can keep this plant alive for it to see many years here. And yeah, it's been a good little addition here. I have some chinoiserie lamps. I found these in Round Top. If you're not familiar and not from Texas, Round Top is the destination for all things antique here in Texas, and they bring a lot of beautiful pieces from France and Europe and Asia and all those places, and I found these in Round Top. Next, into the living room is just really cozy. I wanted this space to feel like it was somewhat formal, but also comfortable and inviting, and my girls hang out in here and my husband hangs out in here, and it's where we watch TV the most. And one of my favorite pieces in my home is this trunk. It is not functional, let me just tell you. It's not functional. It has some wear. It's been given a lot of love over the years, and this was also one of the pieces that I bought when my husband was out of town and hunting, and he wasn't here, so he had no cell reception, so couldn't ask him, so I bought it anyways. But it's just one of those pieces that I believe that I will have forever in our home. I love to decorate with coffee table books. I just collect them anywhere that we go for traveling. If I hop into a bookstore and I see something that's pretty, I will buy it. And I love to stack them and make different heights with my books on a table. It's just a good way to add some elevation on a coffee table. My couch and both of these pieces are Pottery Barn. They have seen a lot of things, again, 2 children, but this has worked out really well. It's a really nice boucle. So anything that ends up on this has come out. I'm very thankful for that. One of my favorite pieces in our home, my favorite photographer is Slim Aarons. This piece is truly one of my favorites. My husband found it. It is a fashion show over a pool at the Colony Hotel in Palm Beach, and I love it. I love the quirk. I love the kind of silliness of it, that they're having a fashion show over a pool. I just love it so much. My pillows are from Little Design Co. She has stunning, stunning, stunning fabrics and pillows, and I just got these recently during the springtime, and I think they're so pretty, and they'll stay out all year long. I love them. And from right over here, I'm not a hobbyist of any kind, but one of my favorite hobbies is mahjong. It's kind of taken the world by storm. I think everyone's learning how to play. I have quite the collection. I have probably 5 mahjong tile sets, and some may say that's ridiculous, but I beg to differ. It's just a fun little thing that I do with my friends. I love having my girlfriends come over with wine and charcuterie, and we'll play all night, and it's just so fun, so fun. And they're hand-painted tiles. This is the Foodie line by the Mahjong line. I got this for my birthday this past year, and I think they're so precious. Like, there's a caviar piece. I'm like, how cute is that? I love it so much. And I used to feel like I wasn't smart enough to play this game, but it turns out I am, and I win a lot, so dare to come over and play with me. Underneath my mahjong table, I have these beautiful little ottomans. These are also by the Design Co. I never thought that I was a fringe girl, but apparently I am, and I loved this detail. I thought that they brought like a really pretty interest to the stool, and it's the same hydrangea blue that are in my pillows. And one thing that I like to do when I'm decorating is find a color that I can sprinkle in throughout the room, and blues and greens and lavenders are typically what I'm drawn to. So these were a really fun find, and I love them so much, and they've really added a cute little piece to my table. My table is a custom game table by Oyster Creek Studios. And they have a whole collection of furniture, and this was actually a present from my husband when we were having our first baby, and I didn't have anything in this house lavender, but I saw this and I'm like, I think I need it, and he's like, okay, it's yours, and it was a really sweet gift. Right here is some decoupage plates by John Darian. He is a art enthusiast, a treasure hunter, an antique finder, and also a really, really amazing designer. And I have loved his pieces for, I can't even put a name on it, on how long I've loved them. But I found these this past trip when I went to New York in October, and I was just rummaging through some pieces in his store, and I found all of these. This is a little Central Park of Bow Bridge. Love it so much. We went to London this past year for mine and Hailey's birthday, and it just reminded me of a palace in the UK. I loved it, and we love waterways and ships, and I found this piece, and then obviously K&P for Kailey and Paul, and a little blingy blingy on the wall as well. And from there, we can go into the kitchen.
What I love most about this home is that I feel like I'm living in a little jewel box. I feel like I can look around and I can see almost every bit of my belongings because of the size of the home. But what I love most is that it is a true reflection of my husband and I. He is an outdoorsman. He loves to fly planes. He loves boats. He loves hunting. So way more of the outdoorsy lover. And I love everything that's frivolous and just shiny, and I feel like I've married those two things, and I wanted that to feel like that in our home, and that's what I love most about it. It's a real reflection of us. In your home feels like a time capsule. Like you see little bits and pieces of like where our interests were fundamentally built, and you can kind of see where it started, and that's what's neat. And I think from both sides of the family, the Fletchers and the Westons, our grandparents, and I think it's really unique that they like the same things, and it has worked. It has worked so well, and I feel like you can, like I said, like you see kind of like why we are the way we are in my home, in Hailey's home. Yeah, you know, you see the personality. It's really unique. Like I don't go into many homes and be like, oh, no wonder you like to do this, and oh, that makes sense why you have that, and I don't really see that in a lot of people's homes, and it just is such a good reflection of like how important that is to you throughout your home.
Well, here we are in my kitchen. This was also part of our very large scale renovation that we did. This room has seen a huge transformation. What used to be in this kitchen, it was an L shape, had Formica countertops, nothing wrong with it, but it was time for an upgrade. We had the original stove in here from the 50s, and it basically wrapped around here, and then over there I had a fireplace, and I did not have a dining room at all, and we really worked out this space to best fit our needs. But this kitchen, I love it. I designed it. I'm no architect or designer, but I'm really proud of how this space turned out. So right here we have my island. This was one of the biggest requests I had when we built this island. I wanted this to feel like, you know, open and inviting, and I wanted to make breakfast for my girls, and they sit up there, and it was great. I loved it so much, and it was really the perfect size. It takes up the whole kitchen, but I'm okay with that. Around here we have some hidden plugs. That was another thing that I really did not want to see. I don't like plugs. I don't like anything that's ugly in my home. So sorry, but that's just the way it is. And I had these plugs hidden underneath the countertop here in the bar area. These bar stools were a great find in Round Top. I saw a pretty well-known designer / studio space had these chairs for $800. And I wouldn't say wheel and deal, but I am looking for a deal. I got these chairs for $150 each. Quite the difference from $800 a piece. So I love these. And you'll find some little speckles of paint from my girls that I honestly love. I mean, it just tells the story that I have kids here, and I'm okay with that. I want this to feel like their home just as much as it is mine and my husband's. And right here, I have some Flow Blue plates. My mom really has this fabulous collection of Flow Blue. She probably has 400 plates at this point, and when I still lived in Houston, I would always antique with her, and these are one of my favorite little trio of plates that I found with her, and I'm nowhere near the collector that she is for the Flow Blue, but this really makes me think of my mom, and I love it. And right here, I have a paneled ready fridge. This is also something that we really prioritize in the renovation of our kitchen. If you just press it, it pops open, which is great for the girls. This is not organized for you. I'm so sorry, but this is real life, and this is what our refrigerator looks like all the time. And the other side is our freezer. Right here, I have a lot of cabinet space. We don't have a lot of storage in this home, really because we're a little bit square footage, short in that area. But something that I really, really enjoy about this kitchen is my little garage for my coffee area. My go-to coffee is a little Nespresso pod. I don't need anything fancy. I don't need anything that takes a lot of time. I love the full espresso machines that I see in these beautiful kitchens. We thought about doing this here, but I'm just not that kind of gal, and I'm honestly a new coffee drinker. And my husband, he probably drinks about 6 cups of coffee a day. How he hasn't had a heart attack, I don't know, but I'm nowhere near that level of a coffee drinker, so this was a really good little space for this. And one thing that I really wanted with the design of this is that I did not want to see a ton of appliances in our home in the kitchen area, and this little convertible garage really lends itself to hide what I don't really want to see all the time. Right under my coffee garage, I have spent a couple of years, I think we started this tradition when Paul and I started dating, and everyone has that thing that they collect when they're on a trip, and a coffee mug somehow ended up being our thing. And I have a few that I love. Like I have a Master's cup that we got this year. I have a sweet little Liberty London, my favorite store in the whole wide world. And a real cute one that my girls picked out from my husband. One amazing dad. It's Precious from Target. And then over here we have a china cabinet. This was another thing that I really, really prioritized with the design. I am a huge, huge, huge lover of Ginori. My first piece that I ever got from Ginori was this pink platter that I got in Florence. And when we were there, I just kept walking past this store and how beautiful all the pieces were. And I would tell Paul, I'm like, oh, one day I'm gonna have a piece. One day I'm gonna have a piece. And the last day that we were in Florence, we went in and he let me pick out a piece to take home. And he carried this platter all across Europe because I refused to ship it because I was so scared it was gonna break. I'm like, I can't afford to replace it. And it made it home perfectly fine, intact. And over the years, I have just collected all the different colors that they have in the Oriental collection. And I really believe that I have found my style from these plates. I know it sounds silly, but I love the colors. I love the quirkiness of it all. And so little by little, I've added to this space. And above here, I have my cookbook collection that I've just continuously added. And then I have my mom's china set that she gave me a few years ago that now have a cute little home in my kitchen. One thing that I was designing, I guess, the color scheme of this kitchen is that I knew that I was going to be bringing in color, but I didn't really know how I was going to do that quite yet. But I was drawn to an all-white kitchen, but I knew that I needed something of interest. With this island, I matched the stain of the island to our floors. This is a mix of a stain. It's a little cocktail, you would say. It's half ebony, half espresso by Duracell, if anyone wants to copy, on white oak. And somehow it worked really well with the red oak and the white oak. Something I didn't know is that they stain differently. You would think that's obvious, but I did not know this. And it worked really well when we decided to go with this stain on the island. And I feel like it really opened up this space. Again, we're spatially challenged in here. So I wanted to do as much as I could to make it feel open. And I really love how the continuation of the color on the floors went into the island. All of my pools are rejuvenation. I probably spent way too much time figuring out what I wanted in the cabinetry, but I knew that I wanted these pulls and I knew I wanted these knobs, these little gold knobs. I feel like they look like jewelry. So anything that is a cabinet door has the knobs, anything that has the pull has these, and these match my refrigerator. And then another piece that I love so dearly is my range. I love to cook. It's one of my ways of showing my family how much I love them, and food is one of those things that I can give to them that I feel that they all enjoy. Even my 4-year-old, she'll eat homemade spaghetti, not out of the can, every single night, and she's so happy. But it is a Thermador range. I have a 6-burner top with a griddle. I never thought that I would use the griddle, but this griddle sees a lot of cheese quesadillas, let me tell you. Many, many, many cheese quesadillas on this griddle. And I have my double oven. One side is a bit smaller. The only thing that really fits in here is a bundt cake pan, but that's what it's mainly used for. And I obviously love my oven. It's well loved and used in this kitchen. Another thing that I really enjoy that I didn't think I ever would need or want is a warming drawer. I never even heard of a warming drawer. My family has never had that in a home. And when we went to pick out our appliances with Thermador, they allowed the package to have a microwave or a warming drawer. And everyone has a microwave, I would think. I use my microwave. I know it's a hot topic of all the things that involve a microwave, but I love my microwave. But I had to get the warming drawer when it was offered to me, and it is also panel ready, and it is right here. Something I never thought I would have, a warming drawer. Who would have thought? And it is used. Lots of chicken nuggets, lots of leftovers from my kids that don't eat their lunch end up in the warming drawer. If we're entertaining and I've already cooked something, I can put it in this drawer and I don't have to worry about it, and I can pull it out, and it's great. I love it. Sadly, we lost our dog, who was 15 years old, last year. She was beloved. We miss her so much, and my girls needed a pet, and we're not quite ready to get them another dog. And the only thing that me and my husband could agree on was a fish. It's not aesthetic. It's not what I would deem as beautiful, but here we are with Bubbles and her friends. And then my lights are from Visual Comfort. I also took a lot of time at picking these out. I wanted something that kind of felt like a globe. It kind of warmed up the space. I really struggled with finding something that I loved, but I'm really happy with how these turned out. Like I said, I'm no designer. I'm no interior designer of any kind, but I really enjoy the light that these give in our kitchen. It really ties it all together. Right here is my pantry. In our old design of our kitchen, we did not have a pantry. It was just cupboards. And where the pantry is now was where our fireplace was. So we really utilized this space, I feel, way more appropriately. In here is somewhat like a pantry and a butler's pantry all in one. I have all of my appliances in here. Like I said, I don't like appliances on a counter. It's just not my thing, but I wanted them to be in a useful place for me to use when I need them. So I do have all of my microwave, my air fryer, my blender, a Creamy. If you don't have one, get one. I use my mixer all the time, and I have really spent a lot of time organizing and curating snacks for my kids, and anything that I will allow them to grab on their own is down here. And then anything that wants to be in a cup or pastas I have up here. I also have some of our entertaining pieces here on the top shelves and down here. And another thing that it's the mom in me, but our refrigerator it doesn't have magnets. We can't put a cute little magnet in artwork. So I found this little paneled magnet sheet, and all of my girls' artwork from school goes on this. And I think it's just fun and quirky, and I love any artwork that comes home with their faces on it is going on the board. I don't even know how many layers of artwork is on this at this point, but I love it, and it's never coming down. When they're 18, their artwork will still be here. I love it. So this area is a little bar. We have it kind of split between the two entryways into the dining room. I have a little mini fridge that usually only has juice boxes in here because my kids, I let them help themselves. And maybe a few bottles of wine from mommy and daddy. But most of the time, just juice boxes. This piece right here is really special to me and my husband. It is a photograph of his great-grandfather's ice cream shop in Shreveport, Louisiana. He put all 4 girls through Baylor University on this ice cream shop, and I love it so much. It's a sweet note to his family. Another piece that I love so much is these recipe cards from my Nana, and it's so precious. It says notes from Nancy. Like, how cute. I love it. And these are our family's dessert recipes. My papa's deep dish chocolate pie and my Nana's black Russian cake that has vodka and Kahlua. I serve to everybody. It's so good. Fun little detail in my bar area. And I guess it's a fun, quirky thing about me is that I love fake food. I don't know why, but anytime I see fake food, I'm like, oh, I need to have it. But one of my very best friends, Britt, she had these little deviled eggs in her kitchen, and she is truly an amazing decorator, and she had them in a little bowl, and I was obsessed with these little fake deviled eggs. And when we finished the renovation, she bought me 3 fake deviled eggs to have in my own house. I love it so much. And then I love the little book that it's under. It's Love Letters of Great Men. It's not a real book. And if anyone that's watching is a Sex and the City lover, like Hailey and I, you'll know where this is from. This is our laundry room / mudroom. In our old home, this home that used to not be, we had a very, very tiny laundry situation. We had a stackable washer and dryer in a closet, and then we eventually had it kind of off of the garage. But when we did the renovation, we brought this wall, pushed this wall out, and made a proper laundry room. With 2 kids, you do a lot of laundry, and I needed that space. And I really, really enjoy how this turned out. I have a deep sink here where I wash my girls' soccer shoes and any other mess my husband creates in this house. And I originally wanted a desk here, but I'm glad that we went with a sink option. And then I have 2 Electrolux washer and dryers that are so nice. I love them. And it has worked really well for us. Our old washer and dryers were horrible, so terrible. This was a good upgrade. And as you can see, I have wallpaper throughout the whole space. This is Katie Kime, and this is their Dallas toile. And being a Texas native and my husband being here from Dallas, it was a fun way for us to show off our city. And we have such a lively city to live in, and I really love the little caricatures that she's done on this wallpaper. You can see big text from the Texas Fair that's here, the Jerry World, AT&T Stadium where the Cowboys play. We got some cowboy boots, and of course, a real Texas lady here. I love her so much. Big hair. That's what it is here in Texas. And then from here, back here is kind of where I store artwork that I don't necessarily need to display throughout the whole home. It was really sweet of a magazine in Houston to show off our wedding. Our wedding was in May of 2020, and our actual wedding got canceled and in California. And our really good friends have a wedding venue outside of Houston, and they let us use their space for us to just get married with our parents and our siblings. And we had all of 20 people at our wedding. So our big California wedding didn't happen, but it was a blessing because we got this really beautiful, intimate wedding, and they chose our picture to be on the cover. So it was very sweet. We went to the Masters for the first time this year. Rory McIlroy hit his grand slam, and it was a super fun thing to see. So I had to frame our Masters flag for my husband. And then from the laundry room, you kind of go into the mudroom. These cabinets were a labor of love. When we had the contractors build out this space, they were so precious, but they did not really understand what I was going for. And finally, I told them I wanted like confessional screens at a Catholic church. And then that's what we did. I just cut confessional screening, and we stapled it on the inside and then just painted it. It's not anything glamorous, but this is what I wanted. I wanted this mesh kind of look, and I really like how it turned out. And my husband thought I had lost my mind when I wanted this, but I get what I want in this house. It's my opinions only. And then from here, I have a sweet little sconce. I love the flower, the white plaster. I think it's precious. And the beadboard, I just cut this out from Lowe's, and we stuck it up there, and it worked. I really like the texture it provides to this space.
I would say my favorite thing that I've learned about Hailey, like with her giving me advice, is that giving me confidence in what I like. I would always come to Hailey and be like, what about this? What about this? And I'm like, do you even like that? And I think it's kind of our Nana speaking through you, but our Nana would always say, if you love it, I love it. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks about your home or what's in your home. If you love it, then it's perfect.
But it's meant for you.
And so you just really kind of, when I was buying things for this house, you really, you told me, like, it doesn't matter what I think. It's, do you like it? Do you like it? Yeah. And I think that, you know, as much of Debbie Do writers as we are, like, we like to kind of break the rules, and you don't have to subscribe to one in particular style or theme of your home. And I would say, even in both of our homes, like, nothing matches.
Nothing really goes together.
Nothing really goes together, but for some reason it all just kind of works. And I think that, you know, two heads are better than one. And I really feel like we leaned into that when we were.
So are you saying that our sentiment is the same when it comes to styling?
Yeah. Just, if you like weird and cute stuff, then put the weird and cute stuff in your home. And it's okay if no one else if no one else, you know, is into it. Or, you know, Kailey has a birthday goose with a candle on it over in her kitchen, y'all will see. And, you know, some people might think it's weird, but when we pass it, it's like, oh, it's our goose. It's going to be on every cake in our kid's life. And, you know, I just think if you like it, wear it. If you like it, put it in your home. I think we approach personal style in every facet like that when it comes to cars, homes, clothes, hair. I just think if you like it, work it. And I think that you let go of, like, the rules with this reno and this decorator situation, you know?
A really neat feature that we added to the design of this home, and this used to be just a wall. There was nothing here but a little tiny door entryway right here. And we added these pocket doors when we did the renovation, and I love them so much. When we have our kids' friends' parents over, we can put all the kids in the living room, and then the adults can have an adult time in here. Again, I'm working with a really small space, so to add this little bit of privacy, but I can still see the hooliganism that's happening in here from the kitchen. It works really well, but it also acts as a little buffer between the parents and the kids. And from here, we're gonna go down the hall into the bedrooms. So now we're in our primary bedroom. I would say that this is the most calm space in our house. I wanted to keep this room really, really neutral. This is the same master suite of furniture that I bought when we first got married. And I did not want to have to go through a bunch of furniture and figure out our style, figure out what we wanted, and somehow we landed on this, and it has worked all these years. I love a plain white bedding. We don't like a bunch of layers. I know that that is typically not the case, but I like to get under a big fluffy comforter, really crisp sheets, and that be all. And that's the same thing for my husband. So we just like a crisp white bed. This bench is really the only colored piece I have in here, and it's from Anthropologie, a really fun Anthropologie find. I love the green. I love the green vine. I love the little skirt on the bottom, and my girls really like to hide under here and hide from me from a bath, and it's really precious. And then right over here, I have my perfumes. I'm a big perfume gal, and I love to display them right here on a dresser, and I have my little Heron collection with it as well. It's definitely not curated, but it's special to me. This piece right here is probably 8 or 9 years old from Target. And again, I like this mix of high-low, and it's probably due to be switched out, but it works great for now, and I still love it in the space. And yeah, this is probably where we spend the most time in the evenings after we put the girls down. We're getting in bed. I like to needlepoint. Paul's usually watching something on YouTube that has to do with planes or boats of that nature. And it's a really sweet space, and I still love it so much. This little taxidermy find was by my husband at our ranch in West Texas. He just found it in the dirt and decided that it needed to go on our wall. Another one of those things that I am not super fond of, but I let him have it. I mean, it's all about compromise. I have clouds in our dining room. I'll give him that. That's fine. So this mirror, when it came out, everyone wanted it. It's from Anthropology, and it is a very heavy piece. But because of what I do with content creating, I share a lot of my outfits, and I usually do a selfie. This is my selfie mirror, that's what I always call it, where I can show my outfits to our audience, and where I get ready and where I check myself out to make sure I don't look crazy when I leave the house. And it's a really special piece, and I love it so much, and it will probably go in every house that we live in. This gallery wall is from Artifact Uprising. When we were first engaged and I wanted to print out our photos, I just happened to come across these acrylic frames, and we have also had these up ever since that we got engaged and started decorating together. And these photos were our engagement photos in Houston, and it's at a hangar, I believe in Pearland, Texas. And this is our Cabela that had just passed. She was 15 years old. Paul got her when he was a freshman at A&M, and she saw a lot of life, and she was the best dog. And I don't think I'll ever be able to take down these photos because she's in them. And they're super sweet and special, and we miss our girl so much. And I love the photos that are still here in our bedroom.
We have many hats, and in college we were dance majors at University of Houston. Go Cougs. Go Cougs. And when we were there, I really hit this wall of kind of being worn out by dance and the lifestyle about it, and was it really meant for me? And I always was drawn to pretty things. It sounds so surface level, but I was. And during our dance career, I loved hair and makeup. I loved the costumes of it and just like the presentation of it. And art. Anything, music, art, anything like that. Everything. And my junior year, I said, I need to take a break, and I don't want to be stagnant. I don't want to just, only work. And I went to cosmetology school, and I can guarantee you, everyone in my life, everyone in my bubble said how much of a mistake that would have been, and that I wasn't going to be successful. And I'll cry. Hailey and our grandparents were very much, you need to do what makes you feel good. And I went to cosmetology school. It was the brave one because I stayed at University of Houston and changed your major to being a teacher. But I went to cosmetology school, and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with just being able to give something to somebody else that made them feel beautiful and special. And once I got my license, I immediately started working in the bridal styling industry. Basically, she proved everyone wrong, and I became quite successful in the bridal space, and she needed a helper. And that became me. And I met really great people along the way that just kind of steered me in the right direction. And when Hailey decided to not be graduated, she became a teacher, and then I made her quit her job Thanksgiving break to come help me because I was busy. And we worked together and freelance for about 2 years. Yeah. And then in 2017, we started our hair makeup business called Italy Artistry, which is an ode to our great grandmother who was also a hairdresser. And from there, we've just we started the company with one other artist who's one of our best friends. And in the last 8 years, we started a company with us three running around like a chicken with its head cut all over. And now we have about 31 artists between Houston, Dallas, and Austin, and we travel all over the country and do about 400 weddings a year, and all over the world. Yeah, places. And anything with red carpet, film, editorial, bridal, we do it. And in the midst of all that, we were sharing our lives on the good old Instagram, and we were sharing our outfits, our homes, our children, our husbands, and just the good, the bad, the ugly, and a really, really good martini along the way at any little dinner that we had. And between that and our antics, we like to be funny, and we don't take ourselves too serious. No. So between hair, makeup, and content creating, it was kind of a road less traveled by, but we have somehow made it work, and we're so grateful. Yeah, we don't know who whispered in our ear to be brave, but we're lucky. I think because we have each other, so it really kind of launched us into taking big risks and having big eyes, and it just worked for us. We're so blessed that it did, because I think everyone was like, "Oh, what are the twins doing?" Yeah, it wasn't the same route that everyone else was doing, and I certainly was the only one that was not leaving college, but it worked out. It worked out.
So we are in my daughter Elle's room. We are slowly having her baby sister join her. I don't know how she feels about it, but mommy's very happy to have a guest room again. And this is my girls' rooms. I love the twin beds in here. This room is also a little jewelry box for her. I love finding cute little niches that I can put in little corners and such. And it's just a precious room to me. Right here is some quilts from Round Top. There's a really, really lovely lady that has these gorgeous quilts, and I found these two in the fall. This pink one right here is gorgeous, and then I have this pink and yellow one, my daughter's favorite stuffy, her little dinosaur. But yeah, I love the quilts on the end of the bed. It just adds some pop of color, some texture, and the girls love to curl up in them and watch a show. This art piece is by Lily Wallace. I had Framebridge frame it for me. I love the striped matting on it and then the little bubble champagne frame. I think it's so precious, and the girls really love it. I found this, I want to say on Wayfair. And my girls they love a mirror. They really do. And Elle will dance in front of this and practice her ballet and her jazz. And it kind of acts like a little mini mirror for her, but great storage for the girls' clothes. But a great, great find that was super budget friendly, and it has really stood up the last few years. One corner that I love so much in her room are this little trio. A girlfriend of mine owns Cowtown Clay, and she does ceramic impressions, and those are Elle's footprints and handprints when she was probably 5 days old in that one. And the alphabet is from just a loose leaf book I found in Round Top, had that framed, and then a little Parent Trap artwork piece that I had framed as well. This piece right here is a Pottery Barn. It's off their trunk collection. It's seen lots of love. You'll probably see some nail polish, some glitter nail polish, or some juice of some kind on this, but it stores my girls' costumes. I mean, I'll show you a peek. They love to dress up. A wig is a favorite of theirs. But it holds some of their little treasures that they love to use to play, and they really love it, and I love it as well. I bought this when I was pregnant with Elle, and I'm glad that it stood up with all their shenanigans. When we did the renovation, all of our walls were white, and I never fully committed to a color. I thought that I needed to pick a color that just went through the whole house, and Elle was so adamant about having a pink room, but I couldn't commit to a pink, and I found this color by Farrow and Ball. It's called Peignoir. And it's like this pinky, purple, lilac-y paint color that is so weird, and it truly looks different in every time of the day. In the mornings, it kind of looks gray. In the afternoons, it kind of looks pink. In the evening, it's more of this lilac purple hue, and it's precious, and she loves it. And anytime she has a friend come over, she's like, friends, come see my pink room. So Mom did good on the color. I'm glad she likes it.
Home means where your heart is. I know it sounds so corny and cheesy, but when my girls are home and they're sitting on the couch watching a movie, or they're in the dining room coloring and I'm cooking, that is what home is supposed to feel like. And I say this all the time, where I love to travel, but I am so happy to be home. If it is not as special as my home is, then I don't want to go. And I feel like I'm so blessed to have that I love this house. I love the people that are in it, and I love the people that visit. It's a gift, I think, to miss your home when you're away. And I think that, we're so lucky to have the jobs that we do, but our heart is home. And I just think that, we really have put boots on the ground to make, a life for ourselves, and our home is a reflection of that, and also for our families to enjoy. And I always feel like your home should be a love note to yourself and your family and the people you share it with. It's a love note. It is a really pretty one. Thanks. And that's how home should feel. Homeworthy, thank you so much for coming to my house in Dallas, Texas. I'm going to head back to Houston, and I'm going to get my girls. Y'all have a good one. Thanks for coming by. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.